This thing lasts about 2 years. This ego death, this stripping of the ego, it lasts about 2 years. And it will happen everywhere I go. It's like one situation happened, then another one happened, and it's like the universe was just chasing me down to expose me. It really sucked. But it turned out to be great, because you'll never be truly happy until you become authentic with yourself and fully truthful to yourself. You will never, ever, ever be happy. I don't care how much money you make. You will never be truly happy, not as happy as I am, because I don't drink. I don't do the thing that everybody likes to do. Nothing, I'll never do that again, but I have no interest in that because of all the spiritual gifts that's been released to me. And every single night I meditate, now something else comes in, and this is just better than money. This is better than everything that I've ever gone through. As you can tell, if you've known me for any period of time or known of me, you can admit that you don't recognize this version of me. You might have always known that I was very spiritual, and how serious I am about my spiritual life. If you really know me, you would know that about me. But to get up and turn on a camera and talk about the divine and talk about the spiritual gifts that you can have, and just share myself so raw and open and vulnerable, you don't know that version of me. So you got to ask yourself, what clicked? What happened? Something went right with this guy, because he's, I don't recognize him. So with that being said, every single day something else would happen to strip me of my ego. I would go to a restaurant or a bar. One time I went to this bar. I was still drinking. I went to this bar, and I was talking to the girl that was in the bar. Talking to her, just talking to her as I'm sitting there, not talking to her like dating her, just, she was attractive, and, there was like a connection there, and I was always, friendly that way. Even if I'm not gonna get anything out of it, or even if I even don't want anything out of it, I just like to be around femininity, especially in that time. I would be sitting there talking to this girl, and when it's time to go, I would give her my card to pay, and let's say I didn't transfer money from my savings over to my checking, because I always kept like, a very low amount in my checking account because I got scammed a couple of years ago and I got burned. So I never kept money in my check-ins. But, I would for each transaction, I would transfer from saving to checking. While you're drinking and you're forgetting all over the place, I would give her my card without unlocking the card or transferring the money over. I gave her the card, and she came back and she said, "Oh, this one declined." And I'm like, "You fucking just said that shit in front of everybody," And I'm like, No. What do you mean? What? And I was so embarrassed. I took the card from her like, "What are you talking about?" I'm mad as hell because, first of all, why did you say that shit so loud? Right? I'm looking around, everybody heard that shit, And she's like, "I don't know. You have another card?" I'm like, "No, this is the card. Give me a second, all right?" And I would just have an attitude. And I never went back to that bar because she told me my card declined. And you know what? The card did decline. But I was so mad that she called it out that I took the card and I made my face so sour and blank, and I just walked out of there and I never went back. I transferred the money over and I paid the bill, obviously. And when I paid the bill and the card worked, the same card worked, I looked at her with that, you know what I'm saying? Because my ego won again, right? So with that right there, where I felt like my ego won and I won up the girl, the universe, the spirit was like, "Okay, we're going to get you tomorrow because you're going to drop this ego." And I walked off with my big old chest like, told that bitch, talk about my card decline. The card did decline. For whatever reason, whether you got to transfer from checking to savings or whatever, she's just telling you that it declined. And she was an American, meaning she wasn't seasoned or had her bullshit button primed and ripe and ready. People from other countries, me coming from Jamaica, I can tell you that. That's one thing about Jamaicans. We do have hypocrites too there, but Jamaicans are very straightforward people. We actually cringe when people are fake towards us. We love authenticity, and we will clown you. We'll laugh at you if we catch you pretending. Anyway, so the point of saying that is this. The truth of the matter is that the card did decline. And the fact that the girl told me that it declined, I got mad at the girl for telling me that it declined. She told me in a loud manner, sure. But she wasn't saying anything to hurt my feelings, the same way the autistic guy wasn't telling my business to hurt my feelings. These were just authentic people who were just stating the facts. Well, how would you like me to say it? Sir, I believe we've hit a snag with this card. Perhaps you have another. Maybe you have to activate this one, this brand new one that you have here, this American Express, brand new, a black card or something. What do you want? The card declined. You know? And the point now is the ego had to face that, right? And just get stripped. And what this level of awakening does to you, or the ego, that it puts you through the fire and burn off all of that bullshit that you've accumulated since your incarnation here. Because it's not you. It's like a big old callus that you wear on your back. And I believe it was Wayne Dyer who coined this phrase as EGO, edging God out, because the ego is the personality, the protector of the body, the brain. The brain protects the body and the mind protects the persona. And together they work hand in hand as the ego. That's your ego, edging God out, right? And then the soul inside, which is the real you, is there and it's being silenced by the ego, because the ego and the mind governs what comes out of the lips. And if the soul wants to say something and the brain believes that this can harm us, you know, if you say this, they're going to fire you. And if they fire you, you're going to not have money. If you don't have money, you can't buy food. And if you don't buy food, body's going to die and we can't no longer be, you know. Like I said, the body is pretty much a Neanderthal without the soul's help. But now the challenge is this. For the next 30 days, or you can go for 21 if you can't go 30, but at least do 21. If you miss a day on day 19th, you got to start over, okay? This is very important. Every single day, wake up and you tell yourself a truth about yourself, something that you're embarrassed about. Whether it may be you're not as rich as you like to portray on the internet, or you, whatever, anything that you might be cringe or embarrassed to share, say it to yourself. Whatever you may have gone through, anything that you're ashamed of, whatever it is, say it out loud to yourself on your camera. You don't have to post it anywhere. If you post it, that'll be even a plus. That'll be greater for you and your self-development spiritually. But you don't have to. This is for you. Posting it on the internet is the next couple tiers up, right? You don't have to do that. But make a video speaking out loud in your camera, looking in the camera, in your eyes, and speaking the truth out loud about yourself. And make a video every single morning for 21 days. You have 21 things that you're afraid of. We all do. And you play it back. When you make the video, you play it back. Play it back to yourself 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. Play it back and listen to it over and over. And each day you make something, each day you make a video, you do the same thing with that video, and you do it for 21 days. And then after 21 days, you will be a different person. You will actually become you for the first time. Because we're all liars, we're all pretending, and some of us are more authentic than others, but 99% of people here, which is a very big number, but the next 1% is living about maybe 90% of their true self. I'm trying to get to at least 99%, because there are just some things that I'm like, that's mine, I'll keep that, you know. But the more you share and just be fully clear and authentic, you will become the most happy person living in this reality. And like I said, You might have your personal thing that is not going to be harmful to anyone else, and you've made peace with it and you're okay with it, but at least you have it out on record, right? It's going to take the power away from it. It's going to take the sting out of it, and you're going to embody a version of yourself that's no longer subject to that thing that you're ashamed of. I promise you it works. Try it. And if you're brave enough to share something and put it on camera and hashtag Souls Advocate, not to beat my chest or my ego, but that's what it's about, the Soul's Advocate. You're advocating for the soul. You're not standing guard at the gate of your mouth to hinder the soul from its full expression by being a liar, an actor on the world stage. Be real, be yourself, be 100% yourself, right? And before I go, I'll share something about me. I'll go first. I'll share something about me. A couple years ago, I would pay these different companies to go fish me Instagram followers, and they had this very good way on how they get you followers who won't even know that they're following you. It's a very, very booming business, and it works. And you ever catch yourself following somebody like, when the hell did I follow you? Yeah, that's them. And I did that, and I made the excuse to myself that it was for business, because people come to your page and they see that you have all this action. They'll support you. They'll take you seriously, and you'll make money. Whatever the reason may be, it's still ego. And I was ashamed of that. I was very ashamed of that, because this is how I built my entire identity online starting out. I was very afraid of being myself, and with that account, I don't even use that account as much anymore. Everyone on this page here are people who may have seen me being my full self and decide to follow because they like what I'm saying, or others may have seen me on a podcast somewhere or in an interview somewhere, and they decided to follow because they like my story. I don't care that's what happened when you go to the ego death. You don't care about that stuff anymore. You don't care who follows or who likes. Check the average likes on this video, on one of these videos. Anywhere from 7 to 19 people might like it, right? And it might have 400, 500, 600 views. Who cares, right? Somebody's watching it, and what I'm doing is for the divine, and the eyes that gets to see this is what's important to me, or to what I'm doing, and I don't need to convince anyone that I mean that. This is something that has been burning for quite a while to manifest through me. These are just my soul's coding. This is what I came here to do, and this is just one of the fashion that I choose to share my gifts to the world, right? So I make videos every day, pretty much, and I will post what's coming through me. Because I am free. I'm free of your opinions. I'm free of your likes. I'm free of what you think of me, because you've known me since I was 7, and you don't know me to talk like this or whatever. I'm free of whatever you may think I am, right? I could be whatever you think I am. I'm only what you think I am to you, and I can't change that, and I can't take accountability for that. How you feel is how you feel, and it's none of my business what you think of me. So, yeah. Truth or fear? Let's do it. And I don't think I'm going to edit this video much. This video, I'm going to put a couple pieces of it on my Instagram, but this is going to go straight to YouTube. And I'm not going to edit it too much, because I want to be raw and real, okay? And I'll catch you all in the next video.